Now if the question asked is x is what percent of y, simply the required percentage is x upon y into 100. X is what percent of y? If it's asked x is how much percent more or less than y, x is how much percent more or less than y. The required percentage is bigger minus smaller upon what all is done into 100. What all is done, that's the denominator, y. Bigger minus smaller upon done into 100. Now let's say we're supposed to calculate 24 upon 192 into 100. What all we do is, we know 24 8s are 192, so we get the answer as 12.5%. But if someone does not know how to solve, let's say that person does it, and the answer is 12%. Actual answer is this thing, but by doing approximation we got this. To get actual answer, actual is 12.5. To get actual answer, this answer should be increased. Now what all we did? Denominator actual was 192 and we made round figure 200 and we solved it. But to get the actual answer, this answer should be increased. The simple concept is, if denominator is increased, if we increase the denominator, and solve the question, answer should be increased. What all I mean? Let's say we are supposed to solve 11 by 99 into 100. We know it's 1 by 9 into 100, 11.11%. But if someone does it, increasing the denominator, answer is 11%. To get actual answer this answer should be increased. If we increase the denominator and solve the question, answer should be increased. To get the actual answer, this answer should be increased. Denominator was 99, we made it 100. Let's say if we're supposed to find out, let's say 13 upon 104 into 100. 13 is what percent of 104? We know it's 1 by 8 into 100, that is 12.5%. But let's say someone does it 13 by 100, denominator he makes it round figure. This is the actual answer. To get the actual answer, this answer should be reduced. Means if we reduce the denominator and we solve the question, after getting the answer should be reduced. If we reduce the denominator and solve the question, the answer should be reduced. if we reduce the denominator and we solve, answer should be reduced. For example, let's say if it's asked 15 by 105, we know it's 1 by 7, that is 14.28%. But if someone solves it by making it 100, we have reduced the denominator and we have solved it. To get the actual answer, this answer should be reduced. Now let's say if we have to calculate 1, 2, 5, 6, what is 100% of the number? 100% is same thing out of same thing. If we need 10% of this, simply it's 1 decimal shifted. 1% of this number is 12.56. 100% is same number, 10% is 1 decimal shifted. 1% 2 decimal shifted, and going on. So if I have to calculate 3760, 22% of this, one way is 3760 into 22 by 100, and knowing the table of 22. 22 6 are 132, 13 remaining, 154 and 13, 154 and 13, 167, 16 remaining, 22 3s are 66, 66 and 16. This thing. Other way is 3760's 10% is 376. So 20% will be into 2. That is what we get here is 752. 3760's 10% is 376. 20% will be into 2. Now, this is 20% plus we need 2%. If 20% is 752, 2% will be 20% divided by 10. So divided by 10. If 20% is this, 2% will be divided by 10. So 20% plus 2%. I repeat quickly. We needed 3760's 22%. One way is solving it into 22 upon 100. Other ways, 3760, 10% of that is 376. Into 2 will make it 20%. If 20% is this, 2% will be divided by 10. 20% plus 2%, we get this thing. Let's say we are supposed to solve 24 by 192. We solve it by making 24 by 200. We get the answer here 12. But actual answer will be what? How to solve that part? We know we have increased the denominator. To get actual answer, this answer should be increased. But by how much? Denominator was 192 and we have made it 200. Denominator was 192, we made it 200. Now, if we make 192 200, nearly we have increased by 8. Now, 192's 1% is 1.92, close to 2. 2 4s are 8. So we have nearly increased approximately by 4%. Approximately by 4%. What all we did, we'll have a quick check. We were supposed to solve 24 by 192. Assuming we don't know the table, we did 24 upon 200. We solved it 12%. If we increase the denominator and we solve, answer should be increased. But now the question is by how much? It was 192 which we made 200. 192 to 200 we have increased by 8. Now 192 is 1% is 1.92, 2 decimals shifted, close to 2. 2 fours are 8. So we have increased the denominator nearly by 4%. So if we have changed the denominator by 4%, answer should also be changed by 4%. Question was 24 upon 192 into 100. We just saw denominator increase is nearly of 4% and we got the answer. This answer should also be changed by the same percent. If we increase denominator by X%, answer should also be increased by X%. So 12's 1% is 0.12, so 4% will be 0.48. Now as we know it's very approximate, so we will get plus 0.48. Very close to 12.5, the actual answer. I repeat, we were supposed to solve 24 by 192. We did 24 upon 200. We got the answer 12%. We know if we increase the denominator by X%, answer should also be increased by X%. 192 to 200, near 4% increase. So answer should also be increased by 4%. 1% of 12 is 0.12. So 4% will be 0.48. So very close to 12.5. Let's say we are supposed to calculate 376 is what percent of 1213. This is what percent of this. What we do is, we'll make it by solving denominator, we make a round figure and we solve it. 12 threes are 36, remaining 1. 12 ones are 12. 12 threes are 36. 12 threes are 36. Now this is the answer after reducing the denominator. We have reduced the denominator from 1213 to this thing. So the answer should also be reduced by how much? We have reduced the denominator from this to this, nearly by 13. Now 1213 is 1% is 12.13, very close to 13. So denominator is reduced very close to 1%. So answer should also be reduced close to 1%. 31.33. 1% is nothing but 0.31. So very close to minus 0.3. So we get answer is very close, 31%. I repeat quickly what we did. We were asked to solve this is what percent of this. We make it round figure. Denominator we make a round figure. And we get the answer. If we reduce the denominator and we solve it, answer should be reduced. But exactly by how much? 1213 is reduced to 1200. It's reduced by 13. Now 1213 is 1% is 12.13, very close to 13. So means very close to 1% we have reduced. So answer should also be reduced close to 1%. Answers 1% is 0.3, So we reduce by 0.3, we get answer. Now let's say we are supposed to solve 187 is what percent of 932? We know it's very close, but how do we work out? Look, if someone does it, 180 upon 900, it's 1 by 5, 20%. Very close to the answer, but how do we get exact answer, accurate answer? Close to that is there. Now let's say we do it 187 upon 900 into 100. We solve it. 9 2s are 18, 9 zeros are 9 7s are 63, 9 sevens, very close to 20.7%. But we have done denominator. What all we have done here is denominator was 932 and we have made 900. So denominator is reduced by 32. Now 932's 1% is 9.32. We can say it's nearly 9. So now 9 3s are 27, 9 4s are 36. So if I have reduced by 32, I have reduced by nearly 3 to 4%. In between of 3 to 4%. I repeat what I said. Question asked was 187 upon 932. We have made denominator round figure 900. Denominator from 932 we have made 900. We have reduced by 32. Now what is 1% of 932 is 9.32. That is nearly 9 3s are 27. So if reduced by 27, it's nearly 3%. 9 4s are 36. So if I reduce by 32, it's in between 3 to 4%. If we reduce the denominator and we solve, if denominator is reduced and solved, answer should also be reduced by the same 3 to 4%. Now, what is 1% of this number? 1% of this number is 0.20. So 3% will be 0.6 and 4% will be 0.8. So in between that we reduce, let's say, by 0.7. Question was 187 upon 932. We reduce the denominator to round figure. 932 to 900 we have made 32's difference. Nearly 3 to 4% of number. This is just approximate. We don't need to be very particular about the calculation. So what all answer we get, we need to reduce by 3 to 4%. 1% of the answer is 0.2, 3% will be 0.6, 4% will be 0.8. So we need to reduce between 3 to 4%, let's say this. So answer is 20%. Very close to 20. Now let's say someone did it, question was this, and someone did it round figure 1000. Answer comes 18.7. But if we increase the denominator, answer should be increased. But by how much? We have increased the denominator 932 to 1000 by 68. 932's 1% is 9.32, nearly 9. Let's be very approximate here. 9 7s are 63, 9 8s are 72, So we can say nearly 7 to 8%. Nearly 7 to 8% were reduced. So answers 7 to 8%. Answers 1% is 0.18, nearly 0.2. So nearly 7% of that into 7, 1.4. Approximation, these are new concepts, so they may take time for you to understand. 187 upon 932 into 100. We make it denominator round figure 1000. We get the answer. We have increased the denominator and we have solved, so answer should be equals. But by how much? Denominator from 932 we have made 1000. We have increased by 68. What is 1% of 932? 9.32, nearly 9. 9 sevens are 63. 9 eights are 72. So we need to increase the answer by nearly 7 to 8%. Now what is the answer? 1%. 0.18, nearly 0.2. So 7% will be 0.14 added by 1.4. So we get this. A lot of practice will be needed. A lot of table mugging up will be needed. What we did, 932 to 1000, nearly 68. Nearly 932's 7%. So answer what all we get, we need to increase by 7%. It's very close to the actual answer. Now let's say we're supposed to calculate 3612 is what percent of 21312. Now if we go 4000 upon 20,000, it's going to be a very crude guess. So let's say we do it upon 21,000 and we solve it. 21 ones are 21, remaining is 15. 21 sevens are 147, remaining 5. 21 twos are 42, remaining 10, nearly 5. So what we get here is 17.25. But if we have reduced the denominator from this 21312 to 21,000, we have reduced by 312. 21312, 1% of that is 213 and 2% is 426. So nearly it's 1.5%. Nearly 1.5%. It's approximate. 1% is 200, 2% 400. This is 3%, 300. So this answer should be reduced by 1.5%. Now answers 1% is 0.17, 0.17, and 2% will be 0.34. So nearly we can say 0.25. Approx is there, so answer will be zero. Question was 3612 upon 21312. What we did? We make the denominator round figure, this to this. We have reduced the denominator by nearly 200 something. If 1% of the number is 200, 2% of this number is 400. So it's very close to 1.5%. So what all answer we got, we need to reduce it by nearly that percent. 1% of the answer, 2% of the answer, double of that obviously, in between that, so answer will get 7. Let's say someone did it other way. 3612 upon 21312. Now assuming that someone does not know the table of 21, so he makes it 20,000. It's 21312 is made 20,000, so reduced by 1, 21312. 21312. 1% of the number is 200 something. We have reduced by 1300. 206 are 1278, means nearly by 6%. Simply how we guess it. Denominators 1% is close to 200. 206 are 1200, so close to 6% we have reduced. Let's solve it first. We divide by 2, we get 18.06. We have reduced the answer by 6%, denominator by 6% reduced, so answer is 6%. Now what is 1% of the answer? What is 1% of the answer? 0.18, very close to 0.2. So let's say 6%, 1.2. So we get close to 16.9%. I repeat. 21,000, we made it 20,000. Nearly we have reduced it by 1,300. 1% of the number is 200, so close to 6%. We have reduced close to 6%, so answer should also be reduced, what all we got, by 6%. I'm so sorry, it was 18.6. We reduced by 6% of that, close to this is 1.2. So what all we get here is 17.4%. Now let's say we are supposed to calculate 2871 is what percent of 10327. So now roughly, let's say we make it 2871 upon 10,000, 28.71%. But we have reduced the denominator from 10,327 to 10,000 by 327. Now 1% of this number is 103, close to 100. So into 300, we can say 103, 3s are 309. So close to, I have reduced by 3%. So what all answer is there? Answers 1% is 0.28. We can call it 0.3 nearly. So 3% of that 0.9. So we get 27. It was 2871 upon 10327. We make it round figure 10,000. We have reduced the denominator from this to this nearly by 327. 1% of this number is 103.7, nearly 103. Threes are, so 3% is nearly, that's how we guess it. 100 threes are 300, approx guess. So nearly 3% I have reduced. What all answer I got? That answer I have to reduce by 3%. Answers 1% is 0.28, nearly 0.3. So 3% is 0.9. So we get 27.8%. Now let's say the question is, what percent of 6123 is equal to 1000? So simply let's say X percent of 6123 is equal to 1000. So what do we get X as? Question is 1000 is what percent of this thing? What percent of 6123 is 1000? Let's say it's X percent of this. So simply question is 1000 is what percent of this? How we do it is we get 1.1 by 6 is 16.66%. But we have done 6123, 6000. We have reduced by 123. 6123 is 1% is 61. 2% will be 122. So answer also, what all answer we have got, we need to reduce the answer by 2%. Now what is 16.66? 1% is 0.16. So 2% will be 0.32. So 0.3. So we get 16.3. I repeat quickly, the question was, what percent of 6123 is 1000? Let's say it's X percent of this, it's 1000. So X 1000 is what percent of this? 6123 we made 6000. We have reduced it by 123. 6123 is 1% is 61. 2% is 122. So nearly we have to reduce the answer also by 2%. 1% of the answer is 0.16. 2% is 0.32. So this reduced by this. Simply the question was, when we see what percent of 6123 is 1000, we know 1/6 of 6000 is 1000. So you know it's close to 16.66, but accurate we have found out. Now let's say the question given is find 48% of 6187. How do we do it? Is we know 48% of something is 50% minus 2%. 6187's 50%, that is half of that is 3193.5 minus 6187's 2%. We know 6187's 1% is 61.8. 87 is a roughly 8 into 2. So we get 123.6. Approximately, let's say we'll call it as 0.5. We'll make it round figure. So we'll get, I quickly repeat, we were supposed to calculate 48% of this. What we did, 48 is 50 minus 2. 50% of anything is half of that thing, that is 3. I'm so sorry. What we need is 3093. That is the 50% of this, half of the number, minus 2% of that number. We need 2%. So 6187's 1% is 61.8. 2% into 2. Approximately this minus this. So what all we get here is 2976.